Hey, yo, it's Guido coming at you with a Tactics Talk. Thanks for tuning in and welcome back. On this episode, you've got yours truly in my 53 TP Marquise Quego. What is this thing? 53 TP, let's leave it at that. It's a Tier 8 heavy Polish tank, and I am on Karelia, spawned into the northeast, headed down to the southeast, and fighting down here on this hill. This is a map, Karelia, that can realistically be won from both sides. Usually I say there's critical terrain and it's pretty hard coded on most maps. Some maps have a couple avenues that are pretty much valid, and this one really has two. This side and the other side. So the southeast side and the northwest side. The match can be won from either side. I believe that the southeast has a slight advantage if you can win it, because you can take the high ground up there where the Pantera's headed and where you will see me head in just a moment. But that is in general, not always, and you can win from a push that goes through the northwest part of the map. So we're going to talk about here a couple things. Analyzing the match, we'll go ahead and get started here. I get hit coming in right away by a Sturv that has managed to get in position. Behind me, my own Sturv. That's fantastic. Thanks, dude. Appreciate that very much. There's one artillery, so I'm going to come up here and I'm going to post up for just a minute so I don't get a timing shot by artillery. I go just high enough to see if he might take that shot. I'm kind of watching. We have a huge push. Earlier, the prototype, that's the T-28 prototype that's up there in the north, said, hey guys, we're really weak over here, so you need to push. And that is what we're doing. We get a hard push coming in here, and we're looking for the enemy, and it looks like they didn't send too much. Now, what I'm expecting when I come around this corner is to find all kinds of TDs stacked up behind there, just shredding our guys. But you'll notice when I come down, there aren't too many. We've got a 53 TP, we got the 112, we got the OHO. We're going to end up finding a TD or two, and now you can start to see that the north is engaged. The T-44 has showed up in the Pantera. Now there's a Scorpion up there. We're starting to count noses, but it's not a big emergency right now. As far as analyzing the match, this looks good. We just need to be careful about how we push in here. We don't want to push into all three of those guns or to get shredded by TDs that might be camping up there. But now you can see the WZ-120 has showed up in the north, and there's at least 4 up there. Based on what we're fighting here, there's probably more. There goes the 44, and it looks like there's still 4 up there, plus the Bat Chat in the middle. And we're trying to deal with these guys. Finally get a shot into that 53 TP. He takes another hit. He's nearly dead. There's 228 from the Carnarvon AX. We'll see if I can get reloaded, get in here, and finish this guy off so we can be done with him. There we go. And pilot's getting pushed out by the Carnarvon. He actually gets in a lot of people's way right there. Not playing very well as far as that goes. Looking for a shot maybe into the weaker side panel of that fairly strong turret. 112 shoots into the dead tank. And we have a situation developing now up into the north. So this is where we get into starting to analyze what's going on in the match. We've got a hard push. We've got a Mutz we're dealing with. We've lost nearly everybody over on the cap, and we are still dealing with guys holding us back right here. So the options right now are turn around and go back, or to keep on pushing. I noticed it late. I'm still fighting right here. I'm very focused on taking out the 112 and the OHO. I want to get rid of them before TDs start showing up. But you can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of their tanks. That's just a bad shot. I go after that little knob up there. I don't even know if that's a weak spot. It was just bad overall. And there's the Sturv. So at least 1 TD has come back. And now they are threatening our cap. So it's time to push. Carnarvon gets it. I come along with him. We start pushing into these guys. And I have really given myself a little option other than to keep on pressing. So ideally, I would have turned around a while ago, headed back to help make sure that we protected the cap. The 44 has done so. The Mutz somehow lived up there. And now the enemy team has the upper hand. I get hit by the FV. We take out the 112 finally. And I'm just going to go ahead and push up. We've got guys following me up. So this is not a great deal for us. They take down the prototype. We need to get our 3 tanks on the cap as soon as possible, or we're not going to have much of a chance to win. And I'm very surprised, actually, that their tanks didn't drive right up onto the cap. We do have the T-44 going back, who is basically going to save the day as he gets in there dealing with the 12T. 12T is trying to screen, keep him from getting up to the top. And I am expecting any moment for someone to get onto the cap. And every moment I get closer to the cap, the better. I just shoot on the run. I don't have time to wait, so I'm just going to have to accept that shot. I'm glad I hit. Somebody shoots at him and misses. He's going to get a shot on me after the reload right here. I come around the corner and boom, and we're able to take him down, but I'm on the cap. So that's one on the cap. They have one on the cap. I'm looking back. I need that T25 pilot, and I need the IS-6 to get on the cap, and even the 53 TP. But they need to stay back on this part of the cap back here, because if you go forward, you're highlighting yourself to whatever over here has come back to try to defend their cap, or potentially anything that's in the middle. So you want to minimize your exposure, but watch what happens here. It's very obvious that our only chance to win is to get our 3 tanks on the cap and hope beyond hope that somehow the 44, the Sturv, and the Super can knock down the other cap. And it's looking real good here. We got 3 guys, 23 seconds, and this thing is over. If the 53 TP gets on, that's holding cap points on another tank as well. But look what happens. The pilot drives forward, who has been an issue the entire game, and starts driving. I'm going to go ahead and not show you what I'm looking at. Starts driving around. I am yelling on chat, don't peek. Look, all 3 of them. One driving around moving, which increases his camo or makes him more visible, decreases his camo, I guess. These 2 guys going right up to the edge. Right where a TD who is coming up or somebody coming up to spot is going to see him. And off goes the T25. The guy that had the second most cap points drives right off the cap and resets us back to 16. And now the enemy team is at 15. We were just about to win. This guy drives off the cap and off he goes. So whether he is clueless or troll or I don't know what, he drives down there. Somebody fires up there. Probably does not see anything, and look what just happened. The IS-6 shoots back. The Sturv was just taking a guess. The IS-6 shoots back. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2. Thank goodness he wasn't spotted when he fired. I get one more shot in there as we are closing it out, and it's already won. And it is a very closely run thing. The IS-4 reset them, as well as the Sturv and the Super getting shots once the T-44, I said IS-4. T-44 lit them. The other guys on the hill right there were able to save the day. And this was a very near run thing. It was really anybody's game. But when you start talking about analyzing the battle, reacting to the battle, and then cap decisions, bad decision on my part to continue towards the cap. I should have turned around much earlier. I could have been part of the solution up at the cap, vice the sitting on cap hoping that things would work. And then for whatever reason, this T-25 Pilot 1 driving on cap, driving around, and then jumping off and taking a bunch of cap points with him. Absolutely the wrong decision. If he was thinking, hey, I need to run down here and screen, you've got to pay attention to what's going on with the enemy cap of your cap and with your cap as well. Basically, this was 1. He didn't need to go off and screen. And these 2, that's the exact wrong place to be. In this case, they needed to be back here. Based on which way the threats could come from, it was clearly not going to come up from this way. That's one of the reasons you go here, is if they're coming up from this way. Or coming up in the middle. That's a decent place for the middle. But you'd rather be over here in the back of the cap where you can't even be seen. We could have, no kidding, capped this out without being seen at all, and it was just really a near-run thing. So some things to think about. One of the few examples, at least in my book, where capping is the right idea. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Later.